Figure 4 Radio.
Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Lock it in. Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Figure 4 Radio.
Hello everyone, welcome to Figure 4 Radio. It's the Mastermind Ollie Spring. Today I'm on my own. I'm sitting in Mastermind Towers at my editing suite, and I've been doing a lot of thinking about 2017. It's been a breakout year for me, if I'm being honest. So I wanted to basically sit down and tell you the story of my year, put as many people over as I can, and basically just share with you the stories and the achievements that I've been lucky to have this year. So I guess obviously it's a well-known fact in the local area. The company I used to commentate for, the company where I started my commentary journey, TAW, shut its doors a few years ago. It was a traumatic time for all involved, it's safe to say, and I kind of walked away for a little while. Needed to take a little bit of a break from the local scene. It wasn't until actually 2016 where Lee Hustle Malone, Big Daddy Huss, reached out and said, "Yo, man, I'm putting on a charity show in Leighton Buzzard. Do you guys want to come and commentate?" And I spoke to Killer Kai Brown. I was like, "Dude, we've got an invite. Do we want to take it?" And we both kind of thought about it for about a split second. We're like, "Fuck yeah, let's take it. Let's go." And literally within half an hour of stepping in the Brooklands Club, we had the bug. You know, we were bitten again, and straight away I was like, "Man, I want to be doing this for a long, long time." At that point, however, I was halfway through a season ticket for the local ice hockey team, Milton Keynes Lightning. I followed ice hockey for longer than I followed wrestling. It's kind of my first love. But I was lucky enough for my birthday last year to receive a season ticket. And by this point, I was kind of in full swing. It had been paid for by my family, and I kind of didn't want to skimp out on any of the matches. So I basically I was tied into the hockey for the season. And I said to myself, after doing a few shows for Lee, and kind of dipping my toes back in the Hope South swimming pool, I decided to myself, right, as soon as this season is up, as soon as the hockey season's over, I'm going to give wrestling 100%. So I've always been a guy who has who's done hobbies. I've always had hobbies, whether it's been radio, music, playing, organising festivals, local music radio shows, going to the hockey. I've always had interests. Everywhere I go, I never used to come home from work and just sit and do nothing. I would always have something on the go. So I kind of thought to myself, I've never really given things 100%. I've always done a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I had a radio show here and there. I did an open mic here and there. I was thinking to myself, what happens if, as soon as this season's over, I give wrestling and commentary 100% of my time, my focus, my attention. If I push it, really put myself on the line, really put myself out there, and make myself kind of vulnerable as well, because for all I know, I could have failed, I could have flopped and fallen on my ass. I thought, for once, instead of being a jack of all trades, I'm going to be a master of something. I'm going to be a master of commentary. So I dropped out of a number of bands that I was playing and stopped going to the hockey, and I was like, right, this is the time for me to see what happens. And I'm sitting here now telling you the story, so it couldn't have gone too bad. So basically, the first, I'm going to do things chronologically with the companies I got involved with. Sacrifice Pro, it rose out of the ashes of a fallout locally, and it has become home. Let's be honest. Unfortunately, the very first Sacrifice Pro show that they put on, I was unable to go to. That was literally the last weekend of the hockey of the hockey season entire. It was a weekend-long tournament in Coventry, and it just turns out that Milton Keynes won it, which I've never witnessed in all my time of watching them. I've never seen them win a playoff championship in Coventry. So I in a way, it kind of sucked that I missed the first Sacrifice show, but at the same time, it was fucking sweet to see them, be victorious in Coventry. And I mean, I don't know how many people out there will know much about hockey, but the way we did it and the team we beat, it was just the sweetest, highest of highs you could imagine. It was an amazing time. But Sacrifice Pro 1 almost didn't get off the ground from day one. It was almost problematic. So they were booked in at the Brooklands Club, where we've been commentating on. Literally, me and Kai have commentated there for years, and the show was pulled last minute, the day before, due to licensing problems. Now, as I say, you can listen to the podcast with Hustle Malone. You can hear the stories. There's no way that the council would have known about it if they hadn't been tipped off by someone, and there's no way that person that tipped them off would have actually known there was a problem. It was one of those scams where you get phoned up by someone and say, "Oh, you had an accident, a few months ago. You're due compensation," and eventually they're going to get you're going to get a hit. Whoever it was that phoned up the council, they didn't have a clue about the licenses. They just thought they'd give it a try. The licenses, the council investigated, and it turns out that the Brooklands team had cocked up on the licenses, and the show was almost pulled. Luckily, the team at St Barnabas Church were able to come through for the Sacrifice Pro team. The show continued. From what I gather, it was hectic, it was chaotic, but everyone pulled together last minute. And I said this before, I said it again. Whoever tried to stop the train from rolling, you just brought everyone closer together. You just created a community of people that wanted even more than before to succeed and to push forward and do the best they could. So in a way, what they thought was going to destroy us actually made us stronger. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. And subsequently, it kind of led to me blacklisting certain people. We won't go into that too much because this is a positive, wholesome podcast for today. But yeah, so from the very first show, me and TJ commentated in post, but you could tell something special was going on. Sacrifice is a company, they kind of work in waves. So far, show 4 and show 8 have both been very big, very important shows where storylines have kind of culminated in a very big crescendo, and it was amazing. So the first half, the first 4 shows of the year, from Sacrifice Pro 1 All the Best through to Booans, through to Don't Wrestle Me, I'm Scared, all the way through to Shattered Dreams, was focused on a tag team tournament. Now, I'm going to kind of break the fourth wall a little bit here. Coming into the tag team tournament, in the kind of the Sacrifice Pro group, there was a lot of chatter about what was the prize, what was the goal at the end of the road, and an Instagram photo was shared that showed 2 belts, what we thought was 2 belts, saying, guys, tournaments culminating on Sunday, can't wait, blah blah blah, kind of teasing the fact that there was some belts. There was a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and going in, we knew the 4 teams that were vying for it, that made it through to that stage: Team Mad, the Bromantics, Kai Payne and Twister, and Los Palominos. And I mean, for those that don't know, we kind of just presumed, it was going to be Team Mad, it was going to be Bromantics in the final, because they've been kind of pushed as the top 2 teams. They headlined the first show. It was kind of obvious. But the thing with Sacrifice Pro is, there's a handful of people that know where the product is going. Everybody else, including myself and my commentary partner TJ Lee, we didn't have a clue. We go into every single show not having a clue what is going to happen. So we're sitting there presuming it's going to be Team Mad and the Bromantics in the final for the tag team, for the first ever tag team belts. That was how we presumed it was going to happen. On the night, however, it didn't quite go to plan. So I'm going to throw to my first clip from Sacrifice Pro 4 Shattered Dreams. Here's how that show ended. And Twister's looking to make the tag to Kai. Kai is so pumped right now. He cannot wait to get in this match.
Who
and I
can blame
cannot
him?
wait
It's
to
the
see him
finals.
back inside the ring. Kai Payne
And
is
here
in.
he goes.
Running clothesline for Vegas, 1 for Tyvee Lee.
Bringing both men in.
Running splash.
And another one.
And he clears Tyvee Lee to the apron.
Exercising the devil with a
Kai
painkiller.
Payne's got him up. Has he got it?
No. Oh.
Rolling senton from Kai Payne. Oh my goodness, he is fired up.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Chaos elbow.
1, 2. Oh. Frankie Vegas somehow kicking out at 2. Twister going for that
knee to
splash.
the guts there.
I think he telegraphed it a little bit too much there.
Kai Payne breaking up the pin there. Going for Frankie Vegas.
Oh, he's got Frankie Vegas up.
No,
Frankie
Kai
Vegas
the
spins
momentum.
out. Oh, and a kick. Frankie's got him up. Oh! Oh my goodness, jackpot!
Wow.
Jackpot, 1, 2, oh, Twister makes
breaking
the
up
save.
there. Getting closer.
Oh my goodness. Oh, wait a second. Twist and shout! Twist and shout from Twister.
Oh, this could be it.
1, 2. Oh,
Ivy Lee getting involved, saving his teammate, keeping their place in the finals and that opportunity alive. But how much more do these men have? They've been in a match already before this. Not a lot of recovery time.
oh, Kai Payne now on his own in the ring with Los Palominos. Twister recovering on the outside.
Ivy Lee throwing it, Kai Payne into the ropes there. Now it looks like Los Palominos are in the driver's seat again.
That pendulum of momentum is swinging back and forth, Steve.
A slap for a slap.
It looks like Kai and Twister are planning something right now. They're actually communicating and working together. Oh!
He returned the favor.
Kai Payne returned the favor from earlier on tonight. 1, 2.
Oh!
He took the proverbial bullet for Twister. We never thought we'd see that, folks.
I hope you got your cameras on, 'cause that's a moment. Crowd firmly behind Twister here.
Overdose from Ivy Lee. Teach this match, I
could
think
be
it's
it.
just broken down. Referee
boy.
Liam.
Frankie
Just-
Vegas measuring Kai Payne here. What has he got planned for him? Oh, Kai Payne fighting back.
Multiple
but Ivy Lee
headbutts.
is waiting.
Oh, wait a second.
Oh, going in for a strike there.
Ivy Lee just fighting back now, and he's going up top. What's he got in mind?
Oh, no. He's not gonna. He's not gonna. Oh.
This is dangerous, Siege. Ivy Lee up top. Kai Payne with him.
Spanish
Oh,
fly!
my goodness!
Holy shit!
1, 2. Oh,
Oh!
Twister making the save. Holy shit!
The elevation they just got.
And the crowd coming alive for Sacrifice Pro. Oh, look at this! Oh! Kai Payne with Twister on his shoulders taking out Los Palominos.
The golden opportunity is in reach. This is it.
He's second.
Painkiller!
Oh, wait, Twister's going up top.
This is it. The golden opportunity is in
Could
reach.
this be the
Everything
moment?
they have fought for is now.
Twister flies.
This is it.
Frog splash. 1,
2, 3. They've done it. Kai Payne and Twister have done it.
Kai Payne and Twister have won the Golden Tag Team Tournament.
Of the Golden Tag Team Tournament, Chaos Kai Payne and Twister!
Ladies and gentlemen, give these men a round of applause. 3 months of war has culminated.
We promised you our WrestleMania.
And you damn well got it.
What a result for Kai Payne and Twister. Every minute, every ounce of blood, sweat and tears that Sacrifice Pro Wrestling have put into these shows has been directed at this one moment. And Kai Payne and Twister stand tall.
Everything about this is what Sacrifice is all about. What a moment. The entire locker room watching on.
Sacrifice Pro is wrestling with heart. And what you see inside that ring, ladies and
General
gentlemen, is
Manager.
heart incarnate.
I've got to say, that was amazing. That was an amazing performance. Which leaves me with one more thing. I've got a bit of a present for you.
New commissioner.
Oh, what's coming out now?
Locke.
This is thoroughly deserved.
The Los Palominos can only look on. Their 100% win rate broken.
What's in that bag, Tej?
We're about to find out.
Wait. Why is there only one belt?
What?
Why? What is going on? Why is there one? There's supposed to be two. You're supposed to be the new GM. Regis.
What? No!
Everything! What the hell?
No! Teach, what the hell is going on? Teach, what is going on?
Are you kidding me?
Wait, on DDT! Teach, I think this is the match. 1, 2.
Oh!
What? Teach,
I don't
what
know
the hell is going on?
What are they even fighting for? I'm speechless!
What is going on? I thought this was a tag team tournament. We just presumed this was for a tag team belt.
Oh, no.
Wait a second. No! Painkiller! 2, 3!
But for what? For what?
Teach, what have we just seen? Twister looked inside that bag, there was one belt.
Oh, you have got to be kidding me!
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner and ultimate sacrifice champion, Chaos Hyde!
Are you kidding me?
Teach, we all just presumed there would be a tag team prize at the end of the road.
This entire tournament was for this!
I don't know what to say, Teach.
Chaos Kai Payne, whether we like it or not, is the face of this company. And I shudder to think where we're going next. Chaos reigns in sacrifice.
Teach, I don't know what to say.
I said this tournament was about me and I'll do it every single time.
Kai Payne is the ultimate sacrifice champion. Folks, I don't quite know what to say. We thought we were crowning the ultimate and the best tag team in sacrifice. Instead, Kai Payne walks away with gold and Twister is in the ring with nothing. You know what, guys? Listening back to that, I get goosebumps again. It was one of the most emotionally fueled nights of wrestling I think I've ever borne witness to. And this is the thing. So listening back to that, me and Tej had no idea what was going on. Going into the night, we had no idea it was going to be Kai Payne and Twister versus Los Palominos in the final. And we just presumed it was going to be for some tag team titles. So the match finished. Twister says, "Why is there only one?" And that line has now become almost infamous amongst the entire family. Why is there only one belt? My initial reaction was, "Oh, he's messed his lines up. Someone's left a belt out in the back. Someone's balls up somewhere." And then Kai Payne kicks him in the back of the head, and I think me and Tej were just we were shocked. We were excited. We had no idea what was going on. We were so pumped up on every emotion possible. And it's like you can hear it in our voices. You can hear it in the shock and the dismay and the just the speechlessness. We had no idea what was going on. I think I was shooting a look across to Lee at the time. I think he was obviously transfixed with what was happening in the ring. Like, they got us. They completely. I bought in, and I'm more than happy to admit that they got me. Because what they created was a unique moment for me in wrestling. There's not very many moments in wrestling that have left me speechless. I could probably count them on one hand, and something like when you first witnessed the Brock Lesnar beating The Undertaker at WrestleMania. It was that kind of level of, holy shit, I've just witnessed something special. I've just witnessed something that I will never, ever forget. And that's what that moment really was. I know I talk it up a lot, but having been with a lot of these people from the start, seeing Kai Payne. I called Kai Payne's very first match. The footage is up on our YouTube channel somewhere, buried in the archives of his very first match in Leighton Buzzard in the Brooklands Club. And to see someone like Kai grow from 4 years ago to now, it's an amazing ride. And the emotional investment was there from a commentary perspective, but from a personal perspective as well. So many people of those in that ring I've been there, lucky to call their matches for. Frankie Vegas, another guy, I called his debut match, also at the Brooklands Club, come to think of it. It's crazy to see these guys and the journey we've shared, and it was a culmination, it was a party for everything that Sacrifice has achieved over the past few shows. Moving forward from Shattered Dreams, we've had another 5 shows since then, but we'll look at the next 4. So we had Always Sunny in Leighton Buzzard, Chaos Isn't a Pit, It's a Ladder, You'll Float To, and Exit Through the Gift Shop. So the big story going through these last 4 shows was Brick Lane. So a lot of people know ever since show 1, this masked character has shown up. He's got his own Facebook profile. This is what's kind of best, is that he's been interacting with the fans. Nobody knows who he is. He's been jumping people left, right and centre. The group of Brick Lane have been growing. It's 4 men strong right now as we speak. And again, it was another one of those situations where me and Tej didn't have a clue what was going on, who it was or where it was going. I was lucky enough, and this is one thing I will always give Lee and the Sacrifice team props for. For the first time ever, a company has really got me involved with some promotional videos and really let me use my character as a commentator to help get over storylines. That's something I've always wanted to do, and finally I've been able to start getting that done in Sacrifice. So I made a number of videos kind of investigating who Brick Lane were, and that wasn't just kayfabe. It wasn't a work. It was me literally trying to figure it out. I mean, I've been trying to figure it out since day one, as even to the fact that, so Banksy jumps these 3 guys in this match, so therefore Banksy can't be A, B or C, so I know it's not them. And then trying to piece it all together was a puzzle, one that I didn't see coming. And then at the final moments of Sacrifice Pro 8 Exit Through the Gift Shop, the characters were revealed to us, and in a way, I mean, we knew the reveal was coming. That was the only thing I regret, is that we were told that there would be a reveal on the show. In a way, I wish we hadn't have known, so it would have been a bit more of a shock factor, just like it was at Shattered Dreams. But it was still a moment that sent chills down your spine, especially given what happened in earlier in the night. So the first ever Saints of Sacrifice tag team champions, Team Mad won it in a ladder match. It was a brilliant match. Earlier on in the night, Sacrifice Pro 8, the Bromantics beat Team Mad in one of the best matches I think all 4 of those guys have ever had. And then later on in the night, in the closing moments of the All-Star match, we saw more shocking scenes. I'm just going to throw it back, and you can hear from me and Tej exactly what we thought of the closing moments of Sacrifice Chapter 8, Exit Through the Gift Shop.
Submission attempt from Hustle Malone.
That's something we don't see.
Center of the ring as well. Great position to be.
And he's on the ropes, but there's no suicide. He's wrapping the legs.
He's got a grapevine.
Oh, and he's trying to get.
Oh, no.
What the hell? Whoa.
The lights are out.
What the hell?
Have we lost power?
What? Are we still on? We're still going. We're still going.
We're still on, folks. I cannot see a thing.
Wait. I just saw a flash of light.
Whoa.
Oh, Ollie.
Commentators curse.
No.
You say their name, they do appear. It seems Brick Lane are in that ring.
And we called it Exit Through the Gift Shop. What the? Did he say? Did he just point at them? Did he just say get them?
Hustle Malone is being beaten down by Brick
Whoa,
Lane.
why did they listen when Chaos said get? Oh, you've got to be kidding
No.
me! You've got to be kidding me! What the?
Oh no, wait, what?
Wait, Ollie, are you gonna find out who these guys are? We need to know who they are, but who the hell are they?
Kai Payne whispering orders and
Wait, what?
What the hell?
Brick Lane obliging.
They're going back, but why?
I mean,
This doesn't make any sense.
Kai Payne has been attacked.
No.
Kai Payne has been attacked
They're
by
more
Brick
than
Lane.
so someone in the back, if you can hear me, get out there.
I mean, this match was designed so we can have a definitive
For 8 months we
number
have
one
dealt with this. We
contender.
need this to end. Oh, not like this, not like this.
Oh, and here comes
Team
Mad.
Mad. Oh, straight to the head.
My goodness.
That was flush on the forehead.
What?
Team Mad, almost like the cavalry coming out
They're
to
out.
save Hustle.
Chase Williams is out.
Both of.
What the hell is Chaos doing? He's directing traffic.
But we've seen these guys take out Kai Payne.
But was that his own orders? They're bringing him up. What the hell?
That was a cutter.
That was a cutter.
Oh, wait.
no.
Oh, no.
That's Dexter! What the hell?
Are you kidding me?
The Vulture of Valor!
Are you kidding me?
So that's where he's been all this time. 3B!
Wait, whoa.
What the hell?
No!
Oh my god. Not like this.
Are you kidding me?
You've got to be kidding me!
Are you kidding me?
8 months of this!
What the hell?
After all this time, that's who Brick Lane is! I have never seen that look on Owen Charles' face. He is incensed right now. I'm speechless. The people there have been threatening us.
For too long, men, not boys, men like us are underlooked. But no more, because ladies and gentlemen, I give you Brick Lane.
So as you can hear again, another shocking moment brought to you by Sacrifice Pro Wrestling. Again, me and Teach were an absolute shock. I mean, I thought for sure that it couldn't have been at least, two of the people inside the ring. Looking back, I did maybe kayfabe it a little bit with the Jay Garner situation, but it was still a shocking moment, and hopefully that was expressed in the commentary. And since then, I think it's sown the seeds for more storylines to develop. At the time of recording yesterday was Sacrifice Pro 9, and some really nice progression from that show with a few matches planned for the 10th show. They're going to show us something really different that we haven't really seen before, which is really nice to see. But you know what? I'm going to move away from Sacrifice Pro Wrestling because I know they're my home promotion, but I think I've talked about enough of them for now. Looking through 2017. Sacrifice Pro is obviously my home promotion. It's a charity promotion. As far as I'm concerned, I'm donating my time to Sacrifice in the interest of the charity that we're working for that month. Every single Sacrifice show is charity driven. There's a new charity for each show. But the end of July saw my first paid booking outside of anywhere really. My first paid booking in wrestling, full stop. And that came at the hands of Exposure Wrestling Entertainment, all the way in Wales. And I know, right? Like, the first booking, it could have been somewhere around the corner. Like, a nice 2.5-hour drive all the way over to Wales. Really cool little story, actually. So, back in the baby days of Figure 4 Radio, myself and the Killer Kai brand, literally, we just got our t-shirts made. I think there was only maybe 4 or 5 in existence. for the team, and it was our first day wearing our new Figure 4 Radio t-shirts, and we were going to the Comic-Con. It was Collectomania in Milton Keynes. We're walking around in our new Figure 4 Radio shirts, really proud of them, looking to show them off, and we spot these two guys dressed up. So one dressed up as Hulk Hogan, one dressed up as Goldust. Kai says to me, dude, we need to go get photos with them, then that way we can put them on the new Facebook page that we're building, and, make us look really cool. It's like we're with proper wrestling kind of icons. So we went over, chatted to these guys, said, guys, would you mind us taking a photo for our brand new wrestling website? They said, no, that's cool. Turned out they were from Wales. We were like, wow, you've come a long way. And they're like, yeah, we're promoters, we do this, we do that. I mean, at this point, me and Kai, we had no idea. We hadn't even dipped our toes in the wrestling scene at all. We'd been commentating a short while, but we still had no idea on how it all worked. We chatted to these guys from Wales. We were nice enough to them, and they were like, "Oh yeah, look us up, be in touch. We'll maybe do some business together." We're like, "Yeah, of course, yeah." At the time, we had no idea what we were doing. There was no way we were thinking, "Yeah, we're going to go to Wales to podcast or whatever," because that would just be bonkers right now. Flash forward maybe 2 years, and we're at TAW in Dunstable, I think it was. Robbie E was being brought in, the TNA superstar. And we get chatting to these two guys that were driving Robbie around. They're basically acting as almost like the road agents for him. Long story short, it turns out these two guys that brought Robbie over were the two guys that we met at Collectomania. We were like, holy shit, guys, do you remember, 2 or 3 years ago? Yeah, we had our photo taken with you. That was our first day getting into the local... getting in, kind of taking wrestling and the podcast and stuff and all that a lot seriously. And we kind of built up a friendship from there. We've done a lot of exposure wrestling entertainment quizzes. I think there's maybe 3 or 4 up on the archive, so definitely go and check those out. But yeah, and then as we were looking to get bookings, I messaged Nigel. I was like, look, mate, if you want us to come and do some work, I'm starting to take bookings. Would you be interested? I think we did a show in post and sent it to him, and he was really impressed. He was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to pay for you guys to come over and commentate our show. And it was absolutely amazing. Travelling all that way. At this point, I think Kai had moved to Gloucester, so picked him up on the way. It was a really fun little show. It was a 5-match card, but we had the honour of calling a match with Bram and Bull James, and in fact, actually, this first show. Nigel even asked me, he was like, bro, can you drive to Birmingham to collect Bram, bring him to the show, and then take him back again? I mean, this added hours to my journey, but you can't turn down an opportunity like that. So my very first wrestling booking ever included a near 6-hour road journey with Bram and Bull James. So obviously you can just imagine the amount of information I soaked up on that journey. Getting to meet those guys was insane, and the card itself was brilliant as well. And I've grown to learn of a number of people that they book regularly, and actually how fucking cool they are. 4 names actually. I want to mention actually. Fuck it, make it 6. So we recorded one at a Killers Brands Warfare with Axel Carter and at the time Lucky Bowden. Never met those guys before, but obviously got on great with them. Recorded a hilarious podcast. Getting to watch them wrestle in the ring was awesome. Axel Carter and now Broken Bowden, 2 really good local talents in that area. But to be honest, I've been to 2 exposure wrestling shows, and there's been one match that has been on both, and that is a team called Team TKO, Team Knockout versus High and Mighty. So TKO is JJ Roberts and LD James. High and Mighty is Marty Grant, Mark Daniels. I'll be honest, I haven't had a chance to speak to any 4 of these guys, but on both shows that we've done for Exposure Wrestling Entertainment, they basically stole the card. Despite the fact that we had the likes of Rene Dupree and Eddie Dennis on one show, we had Bram and Bull James on another. TKO and High and Mighty stole the show on both cards. It was an absolutely amazing contest both times, and I'm going to give you a little clip of that now, just so you can see and hear just how cool it was to call a match in Wales, and tag team action at its absolute finest.
Surely this is the moment for Marty Grant to make that tag. The Pill Millennium Center is coming alive right now.
LD James went into High and Mighty's territory.
Yes, he's made it.
Backfired.
Mark Daniels is in. Here comes JJ Ducks the line. Drop kick, and the big guy is down. The big guy is rocking. There's one for LD as well. and another one. Oh my goodness, Mark Daniels has just hit the ring like a house on fire. German suplex, high angle. Oh my goodness, breaking LD James in half. This one is chaos. Oh, wait a second, Mark Daniels is up top.
JJ hasn't seen him.
Daniels is flying. Missile drop kick. One, two, three. He's done it. How the hell? Oh my goodness.
I am lost for words right now.
What a performance from Iron Mighty. Marty Grant almost broken in half numerous times throughout the match. And somehow, some way, Mark Daniels was able to fly and land that drop kick right to the heart of JJ Roberts. And Kai, that's all she wrote.
That is all she wrote. I mean, LD James got too cocky, went and played in High and Mighty's territory, tried to get onto that top rope, and basically from there on in, it was all over for them, really. It was a poor mistake from TKO. They should have known better than to play into their field, and like we said, it would be whoever can pull out the new stops, and certainly we've seen that with High and Mighty tonight.
Man, listening back to Kai getting carried away on the commentary on that one, that brings a smile to my face. And this is the great thing, I say, with Exposure Wrestling, because they're that side of the country. It gives me and Kai an opportunity to kind of hook up every now and again and get the band back together, as it were. So obviously, me and Kai spent years together doing the commentary together, and just as we were getting our stride. And obviously the incident happened at TAW, and then he moved away. It was a shame because we were really starting to click together really well. But it's so much fun just to kind of head over to Wales and catch up with Kai, put on a show and kind of go back to the olden days and kind of enjoy the experience again. So yeah, I know I will be back with Exposure Wrestling in the new year. Unfortunately, we were only there twice last year, but hopefully next year we'll be able to add a few more dates to that one. And literally straight after we got back from Wales, the very next day made our debut for the Wrestling League down in the Harwich area. Again, not as many shows this year that we've commentated for them, for the likes of Sacrifice and DOA, who we'll talk about in a while. But what Mark is doing over in Wrestling League, he is putting on the most stacked cards. Literally every single time we go down, Sacrifice is normally a standard 6-match card. Exposure, 5 or 6 matches per card. There's no short of 8, 9, 10 matches, and every single one is stacked with talent through the roof. So it's safe to say that the Wrestling League are putting on a brand of wrestling or a style of wrestling that is very hot right now, and there's no surprise that they're selling out the crowds and the places that they are. Very first night, as we were at the Kingsway Hall in Harwich, and I say this is one of my favourite venues in the whole of the country. It's such a beautiful venue. I presume it was an old bingo hall, maybe an old theatre. I don't know if it's still used for that, but it's got a nice overhang balcony, a really nice stage with one of those massive sweeping red curtains that covers the front. And it just sets a really nice atmosphere. We also commentated at the Cockblock Hotel in Ipswich and the Caravan Park in Dovercourt. But for me, Kingsway Hall will go down as one of the nicest places I've ever commentated. And I say the names that we've commentated for Wrestling League, it's absolutely insane. We've had former NXT people like Simon Grimm. We've seen the likes of Matt Riddle, and also you got your UK legends and your UK behemoths as well. In the former, your Jimmy Havocks, your William Evers, CCK, who I'm going to get to in a second. So many big names coming through, and I tell you what, it just makes our lives so much easier as commentators because these guys are so damn good. And it is an absolute honour to be able to say we've called matches for these types of people. But the most interesting thing with the Wrestling League is their School of Slam, SOS. We also called one of their shows SOS specific. Basically, think of it like the WWE and NXT. So if the Wrestling League is a WWE, then NXT is SOS for them. And me and Tej went down to call the SOS basically their WrestleMania. It's called Invasion. It's the night that they invade Kingsway Hall and get their chance to perform on the big stage that the likes of James Castle and the likes of Curtis Chapman and Chuck Mambo and Roy Johnson all these names get to perform on. They get to kind of come in and kick the doors down, and that was an absolutely amazing show. And the other thing I've noticed with the Wrestling League is the crowds are just absolutely white hot for them. I mean, they are. It's all kind of local fans, friends and family of the guys that are on the card. And tell you what, they let you know they're there to support their friend or their family member, because they are some of the loudest fans I've ever seen. But probably the pop and the moment of my commentary year was the very, very first night in Kingsway Hall for Wrestling League. It was a CZW Tag Team Championship match, and I'm led to believe this is also aired on the CZW network. It's not something that I subscribe to, but it is an absolute honour to say that my commentary is on there. And the match in question was the CZW Tag Team Champions of CCK, Chris Brooks and Kid Lycos, taking on the team from White Wolf Wrestling in Spain. That was Adam Chase and the A-Kid, and also the team of, they were called GNL at the time, but I much prefer the new name of Noise R Us. That's Rob Leas and SOS graduate Mike Check. And I mean, this match was absolutely insane. I think it had over 3,000 views in the first week, which is bonkers. But there was one specific moment I'm going to throw to right now in the match that probably gets my oh my goodness moment of the year. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll just let the audio talk for itself.
Oh, wait a second, Teach, look up at the balcony.
Oh.
I see Adam Chase up on the balcony. Is he alone, though?
Oh, no, that is never a good sign.
Wait, whoa, no, Teach. Oh, my goodness, if this is going where I think it's going. Adam Chase is up on the balcony.
No, kid, don't do it. You got your whole life ahead of you.
He's
You're
up
not
on the
going
balcony
to Madrid, son. Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness.
Jesus Christ! Holy ass!
Adam Chase off the balcony!
You know where we are, Ollie? We're in Wrestling League, baby!
Oh my goodness!
That is a 25-foot drop, folks. There is no padding out there. No padding. Just people. I don't know what they teach you in schools in Madrid, but that's not what you do here. That is insane.
I'm absolutely speechless.
I'm not. He's still up. Wow, what a kid. No matter what happens, that kid deserves a standing ovation just for that.
Oh my goodness.
God damn.
How is he? He has just fallen from the heavens. And Team CCK are nowhere to be seen right now. Oh, wait, GNL. GNL now taking it to Adam Chase.
And Mike Check just really imposing their will. After using a beach ball as a weapon as well. Unbelievable.
Oh, code breaker into a backstabber.
A front of a sword
and
blade
front. CCK, they get back in this, it could be over. Oh my goodness.
That is not how you want to lose your titles, without being pinned.
So again, another shocking moment, this time brought to you courtesy of the Wrestling League down in Harwich. And I'll tell you, that match, that whole night was just absolutely insane. It was a warm July evening. I mean, this room was like 100 degrees. At one point, I thought I was going to pass out. I was literally throwing bottles of water over my face. Just from the action, my adrenaline was pumping. God knows what my blood pressure was like. But yeah, it was one hell of a night. And as I say, I think Wrestling League Wrestling League in 2018 are probably going to have a breakout year. I think this is the year they've really kind of let themselves know. They've been kind of quietly flying under the radar, and this was the year they kind of kicked the doors down and said, look, we're here, we need to be taken notice of. I think big things are going to be happening for them next year. They just need to keep the wheels turning, and I think a lot more people are going to pay attention to what they're doing. But on top of all the big names they're bringing in, I want to give another shout out to a couple of guys. So their SOS School, as I say, is basically pumping out superstars left, right and centre right now. Pretty much everybody that we've seen come up from SOS into the Wrestling League, and even on the SOS show itself that we called, so many talented guys and girls coming out of there. and people that are kind of swiftly becoming some of my favourite wrestlers in the scene. So a guy by the name of Dexter is definitely very high on my list. And when a lot of people say, you know, Ollie, anyone you want to recommend, and Dexter's pretty much top of my list every single time. He is Mr. Match of the night. The very first match we saw was him versus Kip Sabian, match of the night by far. He had a really good showing with Chris Ridgway as well. And even at the SOS show, we saw him go toe-to-toe with Hooch. Man, that was just an absolute barn burner again. That guy basically doesn't do bad matches. And as well, he had a match with Ashley Dunn at their 40-man Royal Rumble, which was another crazy match. But I don't think we can really fit that in a podcast. But yeah, Dex is the guy that I've got a lot of faith in, that he can do very, very good things in this business. He can go a long, long way. He literally just needs a platform, and Wrestling League are giving him that. And he's also kind of managed to make his way into DOA, and hopefully he'll be with us as a Sacrifice Pro sometime soon as well. But yeah, that's a guy that I've definitely got my eye on over the next year. Expecting big things from him, as well as there's also guys like Hooch, like Harry Mant, like Cobra, guys that are from that local area. And it just seems this unlikely place where there's this hotbed of guys that are really fucking good wrestlers. Yeah, it's a bit of a, I wouldn't have thought, you know, oh yeah, you go to Harwich, you got some great wrestlers over there. But they are churning out really talented guys that are doing really amazing things. So if you have a chance to catch a Wrestling League or even an SOS show next year, you're basically seeing the future of British wrestling, if you ask me. Because as I say, whatever they teach their students, it is working. But moving on, last but certainly not least, I'm going to talk a little bit about the last promotion to kind of take me under their wings. Chronologically speaking, I mean, it was only a weekend later that I made my debut for them. But DLA Wrestling has basically become my second home. I say Sacrifice will always be home, but DLA has really kind of become a little family for me, and a place where I feel very, very happy, very comfortable. A lot of people say it's because DLA put on that many shows, whereas the likes of Exposure and Wrestling League, we've only been with them a couple of times this year. But DLA, it seems like I'm there every, maybe even 2 times a month, back-to-back weekends at times. So I see these guys an awful lot. I chat to promoter Alec probably more than I chat to anybody in wrestling. And I say it's just a really nice kind of little family atmosphere behind the scenes. You can check out the podcast I did with Alec earlier on in the year, as he kind of talks about wanting to put on shows that are eclectic. He understands that there's fans that want to see that kind of indie style, that kind of strong style stuff with the flashy moves, and maybe kind of a non-PG style. But he also understands that you're also going to get the families down as well. So he wants to put on something to entertain the families with larger than life characters, not necessarily the big flashy moves and the quadruple moonsaults off of the second rope, things like that. He wants to put on shows with characters that are larger than life. So he books people like Damien. Man, Damien's a guy that I could happily talk to you about for hours on end. One of my favourite guys in wrestling, and one of the best people I think I've met this year. And people like the Banker, people like Ash Draven. But then you've also got the kind of indie matches and the real kind of strong style stuff. So he's had the likes of Dexter come over, and Tim Lee's also kind of come with his kind of perfect brand of comedy and strong style. So there's an awful lot of guys there that kind of make up the core of DOA, and as I say, it's a place that I'm definitely looking forward to continuing to call my home next year. And of course, they made the massive announcement that they're going to be part of Fight TV, something that Hope Wrestling as well did this year. Join Fight TV. 2018 is going to be the year that DOA hits Fight, and if I have my way, I'm going to be all over that like a fat kid on pie. It's a very exciting opportunity for a very cool little company. As I said, they're not kind of selling out these the venues the size the Progresses and the ICWs are doing, but they're putting on solid shows that literally everybody can take away something from. So it's not all one style. It is such a nice eclectic mix, and it also makes life as a commentator interesting, because you're not just calling 100 reverse Hurricane Ranas or Suicide Dives. You've got a bit of comedy, you've got a bit of kind of indie style, you've got a bit of that old school kind of technical wrestling stuff as well. It's just a really nice mix, and it never gets old there, and there's always fresh faces. Alec has a core of people, but I think he's probably got the smallest smallest main roster out of any company I've seen. He likes to bring in new guys, and he likes to give the crowd fresh faces, and that also makes life fun for me because I'm seeing different people. And yeah, again, I want to highlight a few people. There's a few obvious ones. So Tim Lee won their Newcomer of the Year, and Tim Lee's a guy that I've met this year, and he's just one of the best guys you'll ever meet. He is absolutely side-splitting hilarious. He's very, very talented in the ring. It's a shame that he ended the year with his foot in a cast off a backbreaker of all things. I mean, come on, dude. How do you hurt your ankle on a backbreaker? Of all things. I kid, but he's a super cool guy. And much like me, it's a guy that I can definitely feel for, because he's doing the similar thing. He's deciding to take it serious, and not in the way that you've just been dicking around before, but actually putting 100% in and really trying to make something of it. So when I see Tim Lee get bookings places, I feel so happy for him, because I know how excited I was to get those bookings, and it's so cool to see someone doing a very similar thing to me and deciding to give it their all and get in places. So Tim Lee is a guy that I really want to see kind of make waves in 2018. To be honest, I won't be surprised when it happens. It's not a case of if, it's a case of when, as far as I'm concerned. Also down in DLA, I managed to, I was paired up with a new commentator in the case of another Ollie, Lucky Ollie Dean, a guy that's been doing this just as long as me, but it's really cool to kind of come in and not be the main guy, not be the guy that knows everything, and I've actually learned from him as to where DLA has been in the past. And just chatting to a new voice on commentary is always fun as well. Ollie, much like me, has got a history in radio and things like that, so straight away there was chemistry, and I think we bounced off each other really well. So it's been a real pleasure to sit next to Ollie Dean and commentate with him. And there's one other name that I want to throw in right now. On top of the obvious ones again. So I say, like, Tim Lee's very obvious. Ash Draven has been the guy at DLA for a very long time. But I've got the podcast with him. You can go and listen to that if that'll be released in a few weeks, I think. Ash Draven, another guy. I'd sing his praises from the heavens. He's definitely going places next year. One guy, I don't think he'll expect me to be name dropping him and giving him a shout out, but one guy that's impressed me and has, I'm going to get him on the podcast in 2018. I'm determined. He doesn't know it yet, but hopefully if he's listening, he will now. One guy that I really want to kind of give props to is a guy that not many people might have heard of. He hasn't wrestled outside of his kind of major local promotion. And that guy, he goes by the name of Jackie Hyde. Now, I speak to Jackie quite a lot on social media. We have a lot in common as far as video games, and I've been able to help him out in a few when he's had a few kind of tech issues in the past as well. I've been able to say, look, dude, try looking at this, try doing that. Hopefully that will help out. But the thing with Jackie Hyde is, you might not have heard of him, you might not have seen him. He's not going to be in the same conversation as your Ashley Dunns and your Ashley Dravens as far as someone who's kind of indie-rific. He's not got the size of Damien or your Brad Slayers or people like that. He's a smaller guy, but the stuff that Jackie Hyde is willing to do to get his character over and to get the match over is absolutely insane. It is second to none. This is a guy that I seen in a straight jacket match. He did no, the Alec didn't ask him to do it. He asked Alec, can I have this match in a straight jacket? He was going to get himself hurt because you can't protect yourself in straight jacket matches. He didn't need to do that, but he knew it would work to get his character over. Jackie Hyde is a guy that I really want to give props to. I've heard a bit of his backstory as to where he's been in the past, and how he's kind of really come out of his shell in DOA. And even the first time I was there, it was Yarmageddon 7. I walked in. He was very quiet. He kept to himself. He even had his mask on pretty much from from the time he was there. Doors weren't opening for hours, but he was walking around with his mask on, kind of in character, kept himself very quiet. But now when I see him, he's hanging out with people, he's chatting to people, and me and him have a really good time. We get on, we chat about video games, we chat about wrestling, we chat about music, and to see someone like that come out of their shell, I think speaks volumes for a company like DLA, where you can take someone that isn't really as extrovert as you might expect wrestlers to be, someone that isn't as confident in their own skin, and to see him grow as a human being and develop as a character. It's been an absolute pleasure to see. I think, to be honest, one of my favourite matches I saw was Dexter, the SOS graduate, and Jackie Hyde in that straitjacket match. And I've said to both guys, as far as character building and obviously being in a straitjacket, you're very limited into what you can do in the ring. It's basically just a beatdown. It's a glorified squash match in many ways. But what they were able to do in this what was meant to be a kind of a beatdown squash match, they told such a good story, and Jackie Hyde came out looking like a fucking hero. And as I said, I'd take my hat off to him. He didn't have to do that. He could have just gone out there and just been beaten down and played more into his character of kind of not really willing to participate in the match, but being forced to fight this guy that was meant to be on his team. And as I say, it just developed into a really fun little match. I'm going to play one last clip for you guys to show you what the match was all about. And really just to say, Jackie, well done, man, because the bumps you took in that match and the things that you did to get the character over and get the match over were absolutely second to none, absolutely exemplary. So yeah, let's have a little bit of Dexter versus Jackie Hyde in the on Damien's orders straitjacket match.
Dexter could have put this one to bed, from the opening bell. But just that cockiness, that nonchalantness from Dexter.
No, Dexter's been told by Damien to send a message. This is
hard to watch.
It's the hardest thing, just to sit here and watch your former tag team partner get such a beating.
I think Dexter was going for some sort of boot there. Oh, a German suplex. And Jackie Hyde just doing all he can just to cower off and find some sort of relief from this onslaught from Dexter.
And still kicks out. Come on, Jackie. Is anybody crazy enough? You can do it, my man.
Definitely agree with you there. I think he's one of the most nuts people I've ever seen inside that ring, but you've got to admire him for it. He's got so much fighting spirit. Oh, and Dexter just almost unchaining him. Oh, look, Jackie's got him. He's got him heads up and tied up in that straight jacket too. Yes! Jackie Hyde has pulled off the impossible. Jackie Hyde has pulled off the impossible. And Dexter cannot believe it.
Jackie, you awesome little stunt, my man.
He's away. What a result for Jackie Hyde.
He's away. You lost to a guy in a straight jacket.
Oh, and Dexter.
Yeah.
Oh my.
There may have been a bit of extracurricular goings on in that match there, but I will leave you to watch that one. I presume it's going to be on Fight TV at some point, so do keep an eye on DOA's social media for that. But yeah, Jackie Hyde, a kid that I really want to sit down and chat to. I think he's got a very interesting story to tell, and it could be an inspiration for a lot of people if he's willing to share it with me. But yeah, DOA again, as I say, my second home, second wrestling family. Some of the best guys I've met in wrestling have been through DOA, so I cannot wait to bring them to Fight TV and help them out, be the voice of DOA and share it with literally the world. That's going to be hella fun to call, and I think that pretty much wraps up the year I've had. I can't think of any other promotions to put over. Obviously looking forward to getting started with Hope Future next year. That one's going to be a very interesting kind of development, almost like the SOS is for Wrestling League. I think Hope Future is going to be the kind of the breeding ground for the next breed of people to make it onto the Hope main roster, and that one's going to be really cool to call, really fun to watch, and as again, just help these guys develop and get their characters over, and just be with them for the journey, because it's what it is. It's a development process. We're all on a journey, and that's what I really enjoy. Is kind of joining these kids on their path, kind of growing into the performers that they could become. It's going to be a really good year, if I'm being honest. So I'm very, very hopeful for 2018. But folks, massive thank you for joining me this week. Thank you for indulging me. I know it's not very often. It's just me sitting down with a microphone reminiscing over the clips. But it's been a fun one for me nonetheless. Hopefully it has been for you. If you don't already, please give us a like on facebook.com/Figure4Radio. We're also on Twitter and Instagram at F4R_ at Figure4Radio. I'm on Twitter at F4R_ Mastermind. We have the website figure4radio.weebly.com. And we also have youtube.com/F4TV where all our archives go up. Do get in touch if you want to have me commentate on your matches. Hopefully this has been a very nice kind of calling card for me as well, to kind of show new promoters what I can do. Basically my goal for next year is to start for a brand new company. In a way, I mean, I could say Hope Future is going to be a brand new company, but I've worked with Hope for a while now, so it's not as big an achievement as winning over somebody new. So I'm hoping this can go some way to putting myself over as well. Who knows? I might be starting with a new company in 2018. That's the plan. That's the goal. But for now, I have been the Mastermind Ollie Spring. Thank you very much for being with Figure4 Radio throughout 2017. And hopefully we can join you in 2018 in making more memories like the ones we've been talking about today. But folks, we will be back next week with some more podcast action. But for now, I've been the Mastermind Ollie Spring. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next week on Figure4.